Today on the Happy House, presented by Creative Kid Stuff. Helpful hanging hacks for you, brought to you by my favorite contractor, Rana. And then, Peggy and I are doing another 10-minute tidy. This time we're tackling my scarves. And finally, I'm in the kitchen with my favorite scientist, Liz Heineke, and we are cooking up some fun. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Happy. I learned early on things are much easier with a little help. I also have a few tricks of my own to share. It's go time, people. Welcome to the Happy House, presented by Creative Kid Stuff. Helpful hanging hacks, brought to you by Supermoms. I'm with my favorite contractor, Rana, and you are going to show me some helpful hanging hacks, ways to make hanging things easier. I know the basics, but I feel like you have so much to share with me. So we've got some stuff here. Take me through, Rana.
Okay. First, most important thing, get yourself a level. How do you know if your level is good? It's not the amount of money that you spend, it's whether or not it's level. The good way to tell. Okay, there's a little test that you should do before you buy a level. Turn it this way, set it down. That marks level. Even if it's not level, wherever that little bubble is, it should be in the same exact spot when you flip it over.
Got it.
If it's not, stay clear. It's not a good level. All right?
Hack number one, make sure your level is level.
Genius, right?
Yes.
Seems so easy.
Okay.
All right, hack number two, get yourself a 5-gallon paint stick, put a little screw in on the bottom, have it come out the back side. Use this to hang your picture up when you get it to the height that you want it. Boom, diddy-da. Push it in.
So pound it in a little bit, okay?
Yep, and then it'll leave a mark, and that's where you'll take your screw and you'll screw your picture in.
All right.
No
Easy
measurement,
enough.
no measurement needed. Okay, bigger, heavier items. Let's take a stud finder. Let's find our stud. When we're doing that, sometimes it gets them, sometimes it doesn't, but you have to like mark your stud. Kind of tricky. Easier solution, get a magnetic stud, no batteries needed, and then when it actually sticks to the wall, that means you found a screw inside of a stud, which means 16 inches over, there's another stud, and now you've got your studs.
Is that the middle of the stud then? Is the screw in the middle of the stud?
You don't know if it's in the middle, but it's in there good enough to be holding the sheetrock in. So you have 1.5 inches to play with. Wherever that is, you're on wood.
Okay.
So moving on, every 16 inches, you will have a stud, and that makes it easier for you to hang items.
I love this because I don't like running out of batteries.
Right.
Right, when I want to do a project.
You know what I don't like? I don't like having irregular signals that aren't in a stud. Okay, toothpaste. Why toothpaste? White toothpaste is your friend. It's pasty. It's kind of like joint compound. You make a mess up on your wall. You put it on your finger, put it over the hole. It will not stain. Come back later, wipe off the excess. That's it.
And it covers it up.
It covers it up.
Toothpaste, who knew?
Toothpaste. Okay, tape. Why painter's tape? I love tape. I use tape for everything when I'm hanging pictures. I put it across my entire section. I mark off a level line. It makes it visually easy for me to see what's level, what's not. The other thing I like about it is if you tear a piece off and you put it on your sheetrock, right above where you're going to drill, have the sticky side up. Then when I come in to drill,
Look at this. I gotta show her. This is amazing. Look at it, caught all the dust.
it does. And now it doesn't go down into the carpet. You don't need to vacuum.
You know what else is genius, and I've never thought about it? I never use tape, painter's tape, to mark my level line. I always just draw a pencil and then try to like wipe it with Windex or something after. So this is a much better idea.
Yeah,
I love this. I love this.
And then you can check it twice too. If you mess up on where your mark is, make another one. Who cares?
Okay,
All right.
what else you got for me?
Okay, then I have this poster tack. I like it because when your things are wiggly jiggly up on the wall and every time the wind blows, it tilts. Get these, warm them up in your fingers. They're like gum, roll them a little bit like clay. Stick them on the back of your picture and then hang your picture up and your picture will just stay put.
That is a really great tip because I have some pictures on the opposite side of like a staircase, and every time my kids go up and down those steps, I swear the pictures are just so wonky.
Right, and it drives you crazy every time you walk by.
I straighten them all the time.
The other thing that this is nice for is if your picture isn't perfectly level, you got a little wiggle, This will help level it.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
okay, and then last but not least, what I really like is I get a tape measure. If I have some more sophisticated brackets on the back of a picture.
Yeah, I buy things like this all the time, and so you're supposed to somehow know exactly what space you have between these, and it needs to be level. It's kind of a problem.
It is, and it's not, unless you know little tricks, it's not always easy.
Okay.
So the first thing I recommend is we'll pick this, well, you'll hold it.
Okay.
We will pick this longer side. I've already measured the distance from here to here and marked the halfway point. So at 9 1/4 inches, that's the midpoint, right? So now moving on, we're gonna take the tape measure. I put tape on the very end and tape where
You approximately think the other thing's going to be?
Yep, and then you mark it. So I go this edge, I know on this edge, right? The last thing you want to do is make sure the distance from the top is the same. And so you just,
tricky.
here it is on my tape. And here it is. These happen to be level, but they're not always level.
Yeah.
And then you just take this, and on your tape, I know that my center I put on the back there is 9 1/4 inches.
Okay.
Line your 9 1/4 inches right here, then mark on the line right here and right here where my other endpoint was, and that's where you drill your holes. And then when you put your picture up, you'll be right on it.
Easy.
You don't even have to look at an 1/8, a 1/16 of an inch. You don't have to worry about that. It's all marked. It's a visual.
Do you have any other fantastic tips for me?
I just want you to be fearless. Be brave. You can do it. Worst case scenario, you put a hole in the wrong place, you grab a little white toothpaste. That's it.
Yeah. Girls with tools.
Girls with tools.
Coming up next on the Happy House, Peggy and I are doing another 10-minute tidy, this time tackling my scarves. This week's 10-minute tidy is brought to you by Supermoms. Peggy, it seems like all of us have 1 or 2, maybe 3 categories in our closet that we tend to get really excited about and hang on to a lot of items, and I'm gonna have to say that scarves are one of those items for me.
Ding, 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 ding.
So this week we are going to do a 10-minute tidy on my scarves, and we want to challenge everybody out there to pick a category in their wardrobe, do a 10-minute tidy, and send us your before and after pictures because we would love to see it. Let's just talk about sort of the criteria, rules, whatever you want to call them, that we use when we're sorting through stuff. First one, look for the garbage right away. And in this case, we may not necessarily have a lot of garbage.
Right. I mean, you're not supposed to donate something with a hole, but you could put this around a gift and you wouldn't see the hole, right?
Yeah.
Right? Around a cute box or something?
I think that is a great idea. Also, then the next thing is look and see what you can donate.
Donate,
And donate can be to any nonprofit organization, or maybe it's you want to just regift it and upcycle it to a friend, which I think
Have
is
your
also
friends
very
over with
responsible.
stuff and bring 5 things. I like that.
The third category is we want to look for things on here that don't belong. Like if there would be a belt or anything on here.
Jewelry or
At this
something.
point, we don't know what we might uncover. So we'll check it out. And then our last tip is to set a reminder to go back at this again. I'm going to go through this today, and I will reach sort of my mental limit on what I can get rid of, because you're like, I might.
You're going to shut it down then?
Yep, shut it down. So then I might come back at this, like I am today, and be like, I can't believe this made the cut last time. So this is
Right.
definitely in the donate pile.
All right.
So are you going to help me go through these things?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Ooh, this was a gem I picked up at a thrift store when I was in my horse phase.
And haven't worn it yet.
Clearly, no. It might look good on a gift though, Peggy.
My problem is I always think this might be good for a costume. But then that never happens.
It never happens. It never happens.
Wait. So is that a donate?
Yeah, it's a donate.
Yeah, don't put that back in there.
This scarf I love, and it's definitely going to be
That's a goodie.
a keep. Yes. This scarf I also love, but I have worn it, I think, about 150 times. So I'm going to just...
So that's a thing. Like you've worn it everywhere.
I've outworn it, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put this
Loved,
in
but
the donate
done.
pile.
Okay.
Yeah. This scarf I have never worn, but I bought it on a very special trip. So I'm going to keep it because I really like it. And the memory about it. Ooh, another thrift store find. Oh, Peggy, I see something on here that maybe doesn't belong.
What is this, girl?
We've made it this.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That belongs. Where does that belong?
It belongs in adorable little girl I know's assortment of fashion jewelry. Do you remember these from the roller skating rink? What?
Sorry.
Vintage right here. So I'm going to be giving those
Package
away.
toppers.
Yep, that would be cute. Unless you fight me for them. Okay. All right, well, let's continue going through the rest of this. And then I'd really like to get this looking clean and neat and organized so I can actually see what I have to wear.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay. Peggy, I think that was our fastest 10-minute tidy ever. We got this done in about 6 minutes, I think. And the reason is because I did not hesitate. I've looked at a lot of these things before, and that's why it was really helpful to come back at it again. Tip number 4.
Good idea.
Take a peek at it again.
Yep.
And now this is ready to go back in my closet. I can see what I have, see where there's holes, new scarf opportunities.
Oh.
And also, another thing we have is a pretty substantial pile of things to either donate or give away. And we folded these up, actually you did this for me, thank you. Folded these up nicely so when we do bring them to the nonprofit organization or give them away to people we know, they look nice and looks like we care.
Yeah.
So
Throw them in a bag. Very nice. Well, good job.
all right, so for sure, tackle one category in your wardrobe and send us before and after pics. We want to see them, don't we, Peggy?
We sure do.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right.
See you at my house next week.
Don't forget, tackle one category in your wardrobe this week and post your before and after pic on the Happi House Facebook page. Up next on the Happi House, I'm with my favorite scientist, Liz Heineke, and we are making popovers. Today's cooking and science segment is presented by Supermoms. I love to cook, and I love to cook with my kids, but what's even more interesting about cooking and cooking with kids is the science behind it. Yes. So I'm with Liz Heineke, author and scientist extraordinaire, and we are going to make popovers today, but what I love about cooking with you, Liz, is learning what's behind it, because if my kids don't want to eat a popover, they might like learning and mixing and doing, and probably if they're in the process, they might try it.
Oh yeah, and this one is delicious.
Yes.
No one's gonna say no to a popover.
I'm sure not.
Okay. Yeah, me neither.
All right, so what are we doing?
Okay, so popovers are the science of steam. They're called popovers because you put them in the pan and the dough is about this high. You put them in a really hot oven and they pop up to about 3 times their normal size. And that's because steam gets trapped inside all these the flour proteins.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna start with eggs. So I'm gonna give you 2 eggs, I'm gonna take 2 eggs. These are room temperature eggs.
And we are doubling this recipe. So the recipe, actually, the single calls for 2, but more is more when it comes to popovers.
You'll need more.
Of course, we doubled it.
Yeah.
So I set these out because I knew you were coming and we were gonna do this. I probably have had these out for like an hour and a half or 2 hours.
That's perfect. You want everything at room temperature because the steam has to form really fast to make an explosion of dough.
Okay, so whole eggs?
Whole eggs. So we are gonna break 4 eggs into this bowl. And then I'm gonna have you mix them up to mix the eggs together, the proteins and the fats in the eggs, but also to get some bubbles going in the dough.
All right.
So we're gonna try to make some nice dough. Okay. So you're just gonna mix it till it's just kind of frothy and well mixed together and smooth. So you wanna get all that yellow mixed into the whites. Looking good. A little bit more. Okay, a little bit more, keep going.
I'm going hyperspeed now.
Great.
Okay.
Hyperspeed, that looks perfect. So you can see it's kind of frothy and it's really well mixed. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to add flour and milk.
Okay.
And a pinch of salt. It doesn't matter, let's add the milk first.
Okay.
The milk provides the moisture, right? When the milk evaporates, that provides the moisture for the steam. Also, the egg whites provide some of the moisture. So go ahead and pour it in.
So we're using whole milk today, and
Yeah.
this is 2 cups, but 1 cup is a single recipe.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see we're mixing it in. We don't have to mix everything together yet. Normally you mix all the wet ingredients before the dry ingredients, but go ahead and dump in 2 cups of flour.
Okay. Do we need to sift this or no?
No, I usually sort of sift things up with a fork to sort of make sure the measurement is accurate, but okay. So we have 2 cups of flour. Now we're gonna add about a teaspoon of salt to make it taste good, right?
Yeah.
Apparently though, the salt also helps with the formation of the gluten in the flour. So when you're making popovers, you wanna use a bread flour or an all-purpose flour. Don't use a cake flour because you want lots of these long gluten fibers to form because that's what holds the steam in. It makes this network that traps it. So go ahead and mix it. We're gonna mix it till it's all mixed together well, but don't overmix it. So
I'm gonna slow things down a little
slow things down a little so we don't have a flour explosion. There you go. I'll be your turner.
bit. Okay. Perfect.
All right. Okay, so you want to mix everything together so that it's well mixed, but don't overmix it. So mix just until everything's incorporated.
Yep.
So that looks pretty much perfect.
All right.
Awesome. Yep, turn it off. Okay.
So, did I get?
No, it's all right. I'm cooking. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'm gonna take this away for us and take this
one thing we forgot to add was the oil. So we're gonna add the oil and go ahead and mix that in.
a little bit. Okay.
And yep, the oil is the fat. It makes it taste good.
How much oil is in there?
2 tablespoons of salad oil to the double recipe. So 1 tablespoon in a single recipe.
And salad oil is just vegetable or canola.
Yep, you can also use melted butter. You could also use olive oil if you love the flavor of olive oil. Okay, that's perfect. All right. Okay, the secret to good popovers is partly in the pan. So if you have a popover pan, use it. You can see that the cups are really narrow and they're tall, but you can also just use a muffin pan if that's all you have.
Okay.
So we are gonna go ahead and, can you grab that cooking spray? We're gonna spray the insides of these. They're both no-stick pans, I think, but just to make sure our popovers don't stick. Okay, and then we're gonna fill these up about 1/2 to 2/3 of the way full.
All right, I've got the pans prepped. I spray them.
Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the pans in the oven for about 2 minutes to get them hot, because like I said, we want the steam to form really quickly.
All right.
So we have the oven set at 475. Let's go
preheated
ahead.
it to
You
make sure.
preheated it. Let's go
Yes.
ahead and pop these in the oven for 2 minutes. Okay. Okay.
Then
And now we are going to fill them about we're gonna fill them about 2/3 of the way full with
Okay.
dough. I'm gonna do yours and you can put that in the oven and then we'll do the cupcake ones.
okay.
You can also, if you wanna make it easier, you can put this in something so you can pour it, but.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Like a pancake bottle. You know those pancake squeezers? Yeah, that'd be really.
Little tip that you think of like after you're already doing it, right? And I'm getting a little dough on here, but you know what?
It's fine. It's just for the fam.
Yeah, and you know, if you want cooking to be fun for kids, don't be too,
Fussy.
let them make a mess. It's not that hard to clean up. Okay, so what's gonna happen is we have this nice floury gluten mix with eggs and all these proteins. We're gonna put this in the oven. The water, the liquid is gonna start to evaporate. It's gonna need a place to go, but it's gonna be trapped by these proteins. It's not gonna escape, so these are gonna puff up over the top. Yeah, so let's do it. You go ahead and put those in and I'll do the cupcakes.
Our oven's at 475. I'm popping this in, and how long, Liz?
We are gonna go for 15 minutes at 475, and then we're gonna turn it down. Oh, these are really gonna pop. We're gonna turn it down to 350, and we are gonna leave the popover pan for another 20 minutes, and we are gonna leave the smaller pan for only 15 minutes because there's less dough, so it just doesn't need to cook for as long.
Okay.
Now, one trick you'll wanna know is when you pull them out of the oven, you wanna pierce them with a knife to let the steam escape. Otherwise, they'll kind of collapse.
Okay.
And then they should be, if they turn out well, they're gonna be big and hollow, and you can fill them up with butter and honey and jam. You can make savory fillings too, but really why?
I love popovers. All right, I'm gonna put.
Can you get that?
I think so.
Here, let me get the door.
I almost dropped this.
All right, so we have the timer set for 15 minutes, and then we're gonna turn the oven down to 350, let them go for another 15 or 20 minutes. You'll know when they're done. They'll look like beautiful. They'll be golden brown and puffy.
I can't wait.
Me neither.
I'm so hungry.
Starving.
Liz, our popovers are done.
Oh my gosh, they
I
look
know,
so
they
pretty.
smell and look amazing. So I feel like we need to taste these.
Of course.
But before we do that, I want to reach out to everybody out there and say, if you have a popover success from this recipe, please post it on our Facebook page, The Happi House. And if you have any science questions, also reach out to us on the Happi House Facebook page. Let's dig in.
Okay. Oh my gosh, they look so good. I want this one.
Butter, honey, all of it.
Oh, look at that. It's like the lovely shell.
Oh my gosh. We made these.
We made them? Let's go for it. Yeah, lots of butter. Okay, here you go. Butter.
Butter makes everything better.
I want honey. Are you going cinnamon and sugar?
I am gonna go cinnamon sugar.
I love honey.
Reminds me of my grandma.
Sometimes they pop up even higher than this and they just get hollow inside, but these look pretty darn good. They're perfect. Seriously, so good. Cheers.
Cheers again. Food cheers.
Isn't that the most delicious thing ever?
I love
You guys, come eat some popovers. They're so good.
All right. Sometime everyone.
DNA.
All right. Are you ready?
I don't know what just happened to
Now
us.
my face is all red. Like.